Welcome back to Healthwise. With us is Dr. Michael Felton with Opelousas General's Wound Care. And I also left out that he's with, I guess we call it hyperbarics and dive center also.
Yes, sir.
Because I wanted to state that because the hyperbarics, when you get in that tank, I guess nutrition plays a big part in that also.
Exactly. The purpose of the hyperbaric oxygen exposure is to get oxygen to areas of the body that don't have good blood flow. Let's say you have a diabetic or someone who's got compromised circulation, someone with coronary artery or a peripheral vascular disease, diabetes, all these things that will affect circulation. Even long-standing hypertension by itself causes a gradual damage to the blood vessels where you get closure of some of your smaller nutrient vessels. So the oxygen chamber forces oxygen not into the red blood cells, which are kind of like cars, they can only carry so many people. The fluid component of your body has a limitless capacity to carry oxygen. So the pressure in the chamber and the 100% oxygen you breathe supersaturates the fluid component of the body and guarantees you get oxygen to those areas that otherwise wouldn't. Problem is that oxygen needs the other building blocks to get in there and do its thing. So you have to do that whole approach. You know, go and put oxygen in a wound that's got elevated homocysteine levels. You know,
you're not doing anything.
Not going to help. Got to get those fixed. You want to do that total body approach. Let's say you have someone who's not eating the best diet. Let's say they're focusing on their starches and other things because they're less expensive. We're all looking at a rise in food prices right now, right? Well, those people are going to need protein supplementation because without the proteins, how do you lay down healthy tissue again? So yeah, I'm giving you oxygen, but you're not eating well. Let's make sure you get a protein supplement too. Suddenly that wound starts to turn around. You start getting that healing. The cells of your body, vitamin A. You need vitamin A to grow DNA. Well, DNA is the instruction sheet for how to build the next cell. Well, if you don't have a good instruction sheet, it's like trying to read a book. There it is. You get defective DNA, broken sequences, lost bits of information. You get cells that don't stand up to the rigors of being healthy and doing what your body needs them to do.
Well, Doc, like also when we talk about nutrition, I mean, we also going to look at after they get out of wound care, after hyperbaric.
Yes, sir. Let's say, you know, we get this nice lady you've brought in to us. She's got the BOBA. Let's go back to our school teacher. She's got her BOBA. We've gotten it to heal. And we've warned her about those things she needs to do in her office to protect herself. Maybe put corner caddies on the corners of her drawers so that she doesn't take that nick again that caused it. But she goes right back to the coffee and toast for breakfast, half a sandwich for lunch, maybe half a plate of something for dinner, and off to bed because she's exhausted. Well, she's setting herself up not necessarily have that same ulcer come back, but the next one will be there because her skin is not nourished. It has not provided the basement membrane and the other support structures it needs to do well. So she'll be prone to getting these over and over again. So just as you said, it's not just while you're in that battle to heal the wound, but the after battle time you need to focus on nutrition as well.
Yeah, and we also, it's just a healthy thing too, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
We just, you know, it can't hurt to be just a healthy all-around person. I mean, even if we don't end up in wound care again.
Correct.
And we're going to talk on the next segment, we're going to also talk about, because nutrition, diabetes,
yes, sir,
wounds,
yes,
you know,
sir, that's
something that, that's why we need to get the proper diet also.
Right.
So we don't end up as a diabetic, you know, I mean, or as bad a diabetic.
Correct.
I mean, you know, you may be prone to end up as a diabetic. I guess we can talk, we have enough time to talk about it right now, but I guess, Doc, you can explain what is diabetes and how it relates to wounds as far as that goes, and why nutrition is.
Well, most people think of diabetes and they stop at the word sugar. I even have patients who still refer to it as, I have sugar diabetes, because in years past, I think people simplified it overly. You know, that oversimplification was, it means your sugar's high in your blood. The new information tells us that diabetes actually attacks the vascular tree. It attacks your blood vessels and causes them to age prematurely, causing poor circulation to areas where you desperately need it, making you at risk for those wounds. Now, we're talking about nutrition. Tight control of sugars, blood sugars that mimic those of yours and mine who are non-diabetic, keep that accelerated aging of the vessels at bay for a longer period of time and give you a longer period of time before you start running into these non-healing wounds and so on. So ideally, in addition to teaching the patients, you know, how to take their shots and how to remember to take their pills, you teach them how to eat and nourish themselves. A healthy body will fight these diseases off better and do well for a longer period of time. It seems simple to say, well, I took my pill, I must be okay with my diabetes. I haven't eaten, I've been up for 8 hours. My cortisol levels are high, my blood sugar's fluctuating wildly between various numbers. Those fluctuations cause the damage. Again, getting up, making sure you get that first meal within an hour or so of getting you're out of bed, and making sure you maintain a stable blood sugar in a nice, safe range. Long-term, good nutrition will help keep that diabetes from being something that destroys you slowly over time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Doc, after this brief message for our sponsor, we'll kind of get back into a little bit more about what y'all do at Wound Care, and we want to also tell the audience where it is, okay, and, you know, just give them all the information we can possibly. So after this message from our sponsor, we'll be back with Dr. Michael Felton.